If you're tuning in with us for the third time here, thanks for hanging with us. We were having some issues, just sound checking here. See if we can... Hey, I can hear myself.
Happy Friday!
So we're going to do the share here so everybody can see us from wherever they're watching from. And we'll get started properly. So thanks for hanging in there with us. We're just about ready to go. I think it's working. Okay. All right.
Sorry about that, guys.
Wow, okay. Well, we're going to try to do a little bit better here. Hopefully you can hear us. I don't know what the deal is. The sound quality seems like it's a little bit strange today. Let me just do one more check and make sure we're...
It's because the temperature's going up so fast to hit 71 tomorrow.
Fred, can you hear us?
Okay, I can hear me. So
Okay.
okay. So hopefully,
I can hear you too.
Hopefully you guys can hear us too.
Your mic is working.
My mic is working. Oh, sweet. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for hanging in there with us, and we're ready to get started.
My name is Jeff with the Magic Shores Travel.
I'm Holly with the Magic Shores Travel,
and I'm Amy with the Magic Shores Travel.
Yeah. So just a little background on our technical problem here. We actually bought some upgraded equipment to help us get a better picture and better sound, and it's not working. So, it seems like every other week the microphone will pick us up, and other weeks it decides that no, it's not going to. So, hopefully we have that issue resolved for now, and we're having some Wi-Fi issues here at the house today, so that's going to be a good time as well. I actually switched over to data so we can use up as much data as possible.
Modern technology.
Make the folks at AT&T really mad. I don't know. So, or make me really mad when I get the bill, either way. So, anyway, without any further ado, shall we start on the news?
News sounds good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Who wants to fire the first news story tonight?
I'll do it.
Go for it.
I don't know which one to pick. I'm going to go with the music of Pixar Live is coming to Hollywood Studios starting May 26th. It's going to be out for a limited time only, and it's going to be at the theater where Beauty and the Beast live on stage is. And so it's going to be after the showings. It's actually going to be an evening. Evening.
Nice.
So, and it's going to be 3 separate evening times.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's going to be live orchestra. I think it's going to be really cool. And also appearances by a few characters. Ones that they mentioned are Woody and Jesse, Mike and Sully, and the Incredibles.
What?
So I'm really looking
The
forward.
Incredibles.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
I'm looking forward to that. But it did say it's only for a limited time, so I don't know if it's just going to be a summer.
I would guess it's probably a summer since it's starting Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
It's probably going to go through Labor Day weekend.
But I think it's pretty cool.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
So that was.
Did we want to touch on the fireworks?
Go for it.
For May 12th. May 12th?
May 12th is the
will
new,
be the last...
no, first. May 11th will be the last.
May 11th will be the last of the
that's
Wishes.
The split.
Fireworks, and May 12th will be the beginning of the Happily Ever After. I would love to be down there to see one, and
Right
then
after.
the next night see the other,
That would be great.
which would be fantastic.
Yeah,
but
Really cool.
I don't think I'm going to be able to make that happen in this particular case. But
not this particular case.
Yeah, we leave for California 7 days after that,
Whatever.
so it's not going to happen. but that would be great. Did you watch
That would be Disneyland, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just so
Yeah.
we know.
I'm not going to just regular
Didn't
California.
know if you jumped track or something there.
What else is in California?
I don't know.
There
Who
ain't nothing
cares? Just kidding. California's nice.
If you live in California. No.
No, actually, we had a cruise that stopped in Santa Barbara and San Francisco last year, and they were both awesome cities. San Francisco was especially awesome because it has the Walt Disney Family Museum, which is such an awesome...
Wow.
I used to really like the Udvar Hazy Center in Virginia by Dulles Airport. It's like the extension of the Air and Space Museum.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hold a candle to how awesome and hands-on and interactive the Walt Disney Family Museum is.
That's
It is
cool.
a really, really good museum. Anyway, sorry, that was a huge
Did we
diversion.
mention
But
what we're going to be broadcasting tonight? What our purpose is for the All-Star Resorts?
we're going to be talking All-Star Resorts, yep.
So we
So
have the
when we-
music, the movies, and
Right.
the sports.
So when we get to the end of the news, we'll talk all about them.
I just figured I'd let them know in case
Yeah.
they want to
in case they want to decide if they're going to stay tuned in or not.
I didn't want to say that.
No, seriously, guys, we're going to make the All-Stars fun. I promise. So, did you watch the live stream on Disney Parks Blog last night?
I did. I was proud of myself
Yeah.
because I'm technologically
Did you see it?
challenged.
No, I missed it.
Oh, yeah, it was nice. You know, it was wishes, so, yeah.
Another news item at Emirates Patisserie at Disney Springs, they are going to be holding cake decorating classes by the professionals at the bakery. Every Friday, March 31st through May 5th, and only on Fridays from 8:45 till 10:45 in the morning, you can make your own Mickey Dome cake.
Sweet.
And take it with you.
Sweet.
Of course.
Literally.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
You must reserve your spot.
What does this experience cost us?
$129 plus tax. And it can
Was it per person or per cake?
per cake. So you can have multiple people.
I mean, $130, if you're going to use it for your wedding cake, it's really not that bad.
Yeah. And it also includes, I believe, some drinks. It's like a mimosa type, like that kind of
Oh,
thing.
that's what I want to do.
Okay.
Spend $129 and have a
Get smashed
couple
while I'm making a
mimosas.
cake.
And Mickey wouldn't be proud of me.
And the age limit does start at 10. You must be at least 10 years old too.
Yeah, but that would be a great experience for,
Absolutely.
especially if you had a multi-generational experience down there
Like
and
a-
you had the mom and pop-up and maybe the granddaughter to get together,
yeah,
where
like,
the princess teas
that
and
would be
stuff
cool.
like that
Yeah.
would be one thing, and then be able to go down. And because one thing that we've gotten away from is being in the kitchen,
Yep.
the way we used to do 2 generations ago.
and being able to
Okay.
be taught by the professionals
Right.
in this bakery. So it's
And we actually had a discussion about this before the show because, we like to run the show 3 or 4 times. Once before, then
10 or
once
12.
Or get here
Once when we
two,
mess up the
or
technology.
get here
yeah,
2
then
minutes
we-
before it
yeah,
starts.
one way or the other. So, with the add-on experiences like this, so if you look at the package cost of your Walt Disney World vacation, and you start adding things like, I'm going to make the Mickey Dome cake to it, you'll see that bottom line costs start to rise. When we price out Disney Cruise Line for clients, they're often surprised that the price is more than what we've quoted them for their last Walt Disney World vacation. But it's because things like this, like on the very maritime cruises with Disney Cruise Line, you can make your own gingerbread house. It's included in your cruise fare. So it's
Good point.
saving you the cost of experiences like that would be add-on somewhere else. When you do them on Disney Cruise Line, many of them are included. So just something to keep in mind when you're pricing a land vacation versus an ocean vacation. They're not necessarily apples to apples because what you're going to get out of those 2 experiences on a baseline is going to be a little bit different.
Especially when you look at adding on a meal plan to the land package.
Right.
And you
Then
look
it
at going
starts
out
to
there
then
and
it starts to bring in a little
you
bit
not
more
only
into
have your 3
perspective and-
meals on your rotating dining, but you also have several locations.
You actually get
all-
2 quick services a day, basically, or you could eat 3 table services a day on the boat.
I was eating all
So,
day.
right,
They had some great wraps.
right.
They were just there, and it called my name every time I walked by.
Right, but you have the option to eat your meals in the dining room. So even
yeah.
if you're not, you don't have to go up and do the buffet, which is usually on the other lines, is kind of like, go eat the buffet. It's not as high quality as the restaurants. And even the buffet on Disney Cruise Line, you really won't see that. The Bahamas cruises out of Work and Avril, the seafood smorgasbord that goes on at lunchtime.
All right, I'm salad.
Is unbelievable. So, all right, sorry, we've been
Yeah,
pretty
we're
far
getting. Yeah,
away
we'll
from
do the
that
cruises.
news item.
We love it all.
They're coming up.
We love it all.
We'll talk about those in a couple. Well, it'll be a couple months, I think, till we get to them. But
should
Do
we
you
talk
have
about the Disney has released a 4-park magic ticket for $79 a day for travel dates April 30th through September 30th. Now, this is 4 tickets to be used, 1 ticket per day per park.
right,
So you have to visit all
do
4
have
parks.
to
Magic
visit
Kingdom
all
on
4
one
parks.
day, Epcot on one, Hollywood on one,
Exactly.
and it's not a hopper.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
It's not a hopper, and you must do all 4 parks.
And it's non-refundable. So, and they're purchased separate. So you would probably do a room-only package, and then, well, we would discuss that with you if
We can
anybody's
figure it out.
interested.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
We have the technology.
So I believe,
And that technology works.
I believe it might save like $35 per person. Compared to
versus a regular
yes.
4-day, one park per day.
Yes.
The only disadvantage being that with the $35 extra, you could go to Magic Kingdom 3 days and Animal Kingdom 1 day.
Correct.
If you felt like it.
Yeah.
So.
So I have that one too.
So it's a very specific guess that's going to work for it, but if it works for you, it's a great way to trim your cost.
Absolutely.
It's awesome. Opening today were Fast Pass reservations for Flight of Passage and Navi River Journey at Pandora. So if you are at your 60-day Fast Pass mark, or you're coming up on your 60-day Fast Pass mark, you are going to be able to reserve those experiences starting now. Go get them.
And along the lines of Pandora, the World of Avatar, Disney also announced that May 27th through July 4th, there is going to be nightly extra magic hours only in the Pandora section, is the way I understand it to be, from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. And again, that's another advantage to staying on Disney property, because this extra magic hours are only open to guests coming on Disney property. So
this was advertised at select Disney resorts, but Amy actually happened upon a comment that kind of seems like it confirmed that if you're staying on property, you're eligible.
Yeah,
so
it seems like it's not limited. I think from what I've read down under, it looks like all is eligible. So
obviously, we don't have anybody having firsthand experience with that to let us know yet, but that's what it seems like on the surface at this point. So, and once again, more Pandora, because that's what Disney wants to release information about right now. The pass holder preview. So if you're an annual pass holder and you were planning on going to the pass holder preview, you're out of luck. It's closed. It's all filled up. So hopefully if you wanted to go, you got your tickets for that and you're all set. Do you have the news items?
No, my news was about the fireworks. I'm all about the fireworks.
Okay,
I'm all about the fireworks.
I have one more.
Okay.
The Sleepy Hollow experience is coming to Fort Wilderness this Halloween.
Sounds cool.
I saw it very briefly today, so I'm a little fuzzy on all of the details right at this moment. But the Headless Horseman will be in attendance at this at whatever this event is.
So you'll be able to see him besides the not so scary Halloween party.
Yeah, and you will have a photo op opportunity with the Headless Horseman. So, if you're headed down October, you're going to want to check out Fort Wilderness.
Yes.
In fact, you could stay at Fort Wilderness, and then you'd be sure to not miss it.
That's right.
So that would be a nice option.
I love the sparks that come off of his hoofs. I mean, the horseshoes when he's going down the cobble streets down Main Street.
Yeah.
That's why he gets up a little bit of speed and then turns them to the side. And
it's pretty awesome. And that's like one of our. We've done the Halloween party a few times, and like catching the Headless Horseman is like the best part, because it's like, can I get a really good action shot of him this year? It's like it's the big challenge.
It is hard to get him.
It is. I got some pretty good ones last time, but it's so dark. It's pretty tough. My PhotoPass pictures look much better.
I don't think he can tell it's dark though.
Yeah, probably not.
What time is it?
In agency news coming up, I want to remind everybody that we are hosting 3 5Ks this summer. Sign up at rundisney.com under the virtual running short series if you want to come out and join us for 3 5K run walks. It is not open yet. The last date that we heard was April 11th. It should be open. And our dates are June 10th, July 22nd, and August 12th. 12th. Okay. So we'll have more details coming on that event, so stay tuned. And on the June 10th date is our annual Come and Talk About Disney picnic.
It's for all of our past, present, and potential future clients, friends, and family.
Right. So if that's you, come on out. We will be at Young's Woods in Hanover. I did reserve the pavilion today, so we are on target for that. And it's if you need directions, just send us a message and we'll get it to you. So we'll have flyers and things on the page in the meantime, but that's the preview. I just reserved it today, so I was thinking about it.
It is a good time, and there's pin trading and different things.
Yeah, and we do
try to keep it exciting.
Do some food, and last year we did some trivia, and
Prizes.
Pin the fin on Dory.
We didn't do that, but that would be a fun time. So, is there any other agency news we want to share? Definitely check out the website. We're making an effort to keep our dates and things updated there, and make sure that we are giving you up to date information. And we have a YouTube channel now, so if you miss a Facebook Friday video, it might be easier to find it on YouTube than on our Facebook page.
And we do have a couple agents going down for advanced training.
Yes.
I leave in 9 days.
I leave in 2 months.
What? What?
Yeah. So anyway,
I'm so jealous. I got to go last year though, so it's anyway.
Yes, I leave in 9 days for my
And where are you staying?
I'm staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge. I'm going to my very first agent education program. I am so super excited about what I'm going to learn and bring home to everyone. And stay tuned for my videos. I hope to be able to film as much as I can. I don't know how much I will be able to do with the tours and such, but the time that I do have on my own, the little bit that it is, I plan on filming some. So
Awesome.
and I'll be going on June 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th for advanced agent training.
I can't believe you didn't even tell me.
I just found out. I just found out an hour ago.
I'm hurt.
Seriously. Well, 2 hours ago.
Where are you going? Are you going to World?
I'm going to Polynesian. Yes.
Oh.
And you have to have X number of years experience, and it's limited and all that stuff. So my head's getting real.
Congratulations!
You can get Ohana room service.
Yes.
Not Ohana.
It's the Ohana show.
We're not talking Ohana.
Fried pineapple.
Okay, so moving on to All Stars. We actually have a question from the audience here. Which do you think is the better value? I'm assuming that's from Kelly. Hi, Kelly. I'm assuming that you're asking among the 3 All-Star resorts. So hopefully we will answer that question through the course of our discussion here. And if your question was directed towards something different, just shoot us another message and we'll answer that for you.
I actually had it down here in my notes, so if you want to talk, I'll look it up real quick.
Which one's the best value? How do you know?
Well, I mean, according
We
to...
didn't even talk about it.
If they're talking about a monetary value, if they're looking for the...
Oh, yeah, for the least expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. It varies between music and sports. Often music and sports are the same price. But that might vary by availability a little bit. They use sports a lot for the groups that come down. So that's part of our discussion, too.
Yes.
So. So anyway, the 3 All-Star resorts are movies. Well, we did have music in the middle, which is where it's located at Disney World, but the CD wasn't cooperating, and I was done with it. And sports. So, these are the first value resorts that Disney opened. So you will see that they're a little bit more, I'm going to say a little bit more worn than Pop Century.
Yeah, sports was the first one to open in May of 1994.
Okay. So they're coming up on, 23 years this year?
23
years, okay.
But they're 3 separate complexes.
Right, and they have 3 separate check-in desks.
Right.
3 separate gift shops, 3 separate food courts.
Right. Altogether, there's 5,568 rooms in 30 buildings.
30 buildings? Is it really? Well, I guess it's like 2 or 3 per section. Times 3 resorts, and they each have 4 or 5 sections. Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, music's the smallest. It has about 200 less rooms
Than the others.
the others.
But does that have to do with the fact that 260 of the rooms at music are family suites?
Yes.
So they take up
Pretty
more
much.
space per room.
When we're talking about the family suites, they sleep up to 6.
6.
Yes.
With an additional, if there's a
Child under 2.
child under 2 and a pack and play.
So essentially, even 7.
And you get 2 bathrooms, two
Yes.
27-inch flat TVs, which
Right.
I don't watch TV when I'm at Disney.
No.
I don't watch at home, so I'm not going to watch it there.
Do they have a kitchenette?
Yes.
Okay.
Or the suites.
In the suite.
Yes.
Right. Obviously, definitely, because there's a refrigerator in the standard rooms, but there's no microwave.
And all of them do have the refrigerators now. They're
Right.
dorm size, I call them. But
Right.
they're still
Right,
there.
but they're definitely enough that if you brought something cold back from
Your
a
resort
dinner, you
refillable
could put it
mug.
in there.
Yes, they fit in
Yes.
the refrigerators.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
I never get the mug, so I
But
wouldn't
they
have thought of that.
They do fit in those
Microwaves.
in those refrigerators. They fit in those refrigerators. I promise.
They do have a microwave in each food court, so if you are bringing food from home and you need it heated up, you do have access to heat. It's just kind of a pain depending on what building you're in. Like if you're at sports and you're out in the baseball section, you've got to walk all the way through the football section to get to the main building to get to the food court. I wouldn't want to do that to make my
Movies
breakfast.
is the least expensive.
Since when? That varies by season.
But all the pricing varies by season.
Right,
That was
but
another
I've
point I was going to
definitely-
make.
I've definitely seen sports and music cheaper than movies.
And also, they do have king-size beds, but they're ADA accessible rooms. They are 260 square feet, which are larger than the average room. They do not have a bathtub. They have the wheelchair accessible
Shower. And as we've talked about before, have you been in an accessible room
No,
at
I've
All
never
Star?
had one.
Okay. We had an accessible room at Beach Club, and I can't say 100% for sure that this is resort-wide. The accessible shower was awful because the physics of the thing didn't work out properly. So the water flooded the bathroom every time you took a shower. So unless you really want that king bed, I wouldn't choose the accessible room to get the king bed. I wouldn't think it's worth it. But that's your decision. That's why the magic is yours, because if you really want the king...
I've had people ask about, and they weren't real concerned in it, so whether you could get the king-size bed, and the answer was yes, as long as it wasn't booked. Like, you could have it booked, but if it's an ADA accessible, and that's very understandable,
right.
wanted to rent it, then they would...
And there were other rooms available.
And there was other rooms available. You'd be asked to relinquish the room.
Would they ask you to relinquish the room if the rest of the resort was completely sold out? Do you know, or is that?
Man, you got me there.
That nuance. I'm just curious because
we gotta ask now.
Yeah, I don't know. Just a curiosity, not a big thing. So does anybody know what all the buildings are at each of the resorts?
I got it written down.
I think I know sports. I stayed there last February, and we were in the football section.
Football, baseball.
We were right next to the baseball. There's a surf section.
Yes, and
tennis.
that's
a tennis section and a basketball section. Did we get them all?
Yep.
Yes.
You get an A for today.
Yeah.
And the pools at sports are themed. One is
One's
Mighty
in the
Ducks.
baseball section.
And one is the Mighty Ducks.
Is that when
We're getting overly excited about this pool.
Is that when it's sports or movies? Because there's the Mighty Ducks at movies.
Oh my gosh, it's movies. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
I'm
No
ahead of
worries.
myself. I apologize.
No, but we know you like that pool.
Yeah.
I'm ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
The
It's the surfboard.
surf's up pool is the
I'm
feature
sorry.
pool.
Yes.
And then the
And the
baseball
Grand Slam,
pool.
yeah.
The Grand Slam.
Yeah. Sorry about
Which has a giant Coke cup that will hold.
The Coke cup will hold 240 million ounces of liquid.
That's a lot of Coke.
I don't think I would need a refillable mug.
I hope not.
So since the All Stars do not have a water slide, I had to throw in some kind of a fun fact in a way. So that's the fun fact.
Very
240 million ounces.
Let's see. The food court at sports is called the End Zone. So keeping with the theme.
Yeah.
I'm quite certain the arcades have 3 different names too, and I don't know what they are off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, I think as our public knows that since my children are grown, I haven't been to the arcades for a while.
Hey, we go to the arcades.
And they are large resorts. They're large resorts. They do offer preferred rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be in the section with the pool, the main pool. So
and
be the closest to the building.
Closest to the main building with your transportation and your food court. One thing to bear in mind, though, depending on what your noise level of tolerance is, or tolerance of noise level, when you get a preferred room, you're going to have everybody from the resort coming by you to get to where they're going. And sometimes you can look at a map, or you can ask one of us if you choose to go down. that sometimes staying a little bit further back, you don't have as much foot traffic, and sometimes I feel that facing the parking lot, if you're not going to spend a lot of time in the room, you don't want the pool view, you don't want the, get the parking lot view, and I've noticed that that does cut down on some of the foot traffic, some of the noise, some of the, because everybody else is looking for the better amenities of the resort. So if you're going to spend more time out of your room than in, and you're in a value resort because you want to get the most amount of magic for the least amount of pixie dust, then maybe look at asking for, or if you don't ask for nothing, you might end up with the parking lot view anyway. But there's definitely nothing wrong with that, and I've done it at a deluxe resort myself.
With regard to the noise, not just in the pool area, but we stayed in the football section last year, and it's really cool. They have this like entire football field made of AstroTurf. So of course the kids were out there playing every chance they got, and All-Star Sports is where they tend to house the athletes that are coming down to go to competitions at ESPN's Wide World of Sports. So you're going to have especially throughout the school year, you're going to have a lot of athlete traffic, a lot of maybe less than completely attended minors because they're possibly traveling with their team as opposed to their parents in a family setting.
And I think the cheerleaders,
competitive tend to stay at sports.
And they tend to practice in the football field area too.
All the time.
Yeah, so the second week of February is going to be a time when you want a parking lot view. Or you want to be at the pool. They won't practice in the pool.
But I
You
still
never know.
Yeah.
It's my time of the year to go down.
Yeah. Yeah. How about the sections at music? I know there's Calypso. Calypso's the section with the main pool. And then this next section back from that is jazz.
Yeah, country fair.
There's country, there's Broadway, and rock and roll. Right? Is there another one?
Rock in.
Rock and roll? Rock and roll. Rock in. Ah, that's funny. Rock in. As in the in of rocking.
Because you're in the know.
The quiet pool at the All-Star Music is actually shaped like a grand piano.
That's cool.
And that's...
I thought it'd be an earplug.
It might need it. And actually, the Calypso pool is shaped like a guitar. So that's kind of...
that's cool.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
And they have a nice little water feature in there. They've got... I mix them up all the time. The Three Amigos are the Saludos Amigos and the Three Caballeros. I always forget which is which. One of them's in the pool. It's whichever one has Sancho Panza. That they're the feature in the pool, and they've got little water spouts coming off of them.
Another question that I get periodically is because you can see the stairwells at the end of each building. There are elevators in each of the buildings. There's two of them side by side, and they're
in the interior.
centrally located in the building. And there's also stairwells right next to them also. But
they're not nearly as fun as the stairwells that are shaped like giant objects. So
true.
I mean, that's way more fun.
Wait another 30 years, then tell me about how fun the stairwell is.
Stairs are awesome. So let's see, All-Star Music.
Push the button.
Did we talked about Family Suites being only at All-Star Music?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we did mention it there, but that is the fact.
That's the only All-Star that they're at, and All-Star Music once again is the one in the center.
And they were booked a lot of times, and that's why they Disney answered the call for the other resort that we won't talk about all the time, but we do love it, the Art of Animation.
Yes. Oh, I totally lost what I was going to say. Sorry about that. It's gone. Anyway, okay, moving to movies.
Move on to movies. Yep.
So the sections at All-Star Movies?
On the Family Suites are 520 square feet.
Oh,
compared to 260. So what it is, it's technically two rooms
put together.
And then they configure it a little bit different.
And another nice thing about those, like I feel like sometimes when I price out the Art of Animation Family Suites, they tend to price pretty high for. I mean, it is still a value resort. You aren't getting the amenities that you get at a moderate or deluxe, and they're pricing into that moderate price point. The Family Suites at All-Star Music are definitely a more budget-friendly option if you need that sleeping space for 6. So don't overlook that as a choice if you need a little bit more room to spread out. if you want a small kitchenette, it's a pretty economical way to get one.
I actually did a little bit of research on it this afternoon because I love Art of Animation, so I just want to see the difference between the family suites in Art of Animation and music. And I just chose a random date in October, and it was almost $600 cheaper.
Wow.
At movies than Art of Animation.
Right.
So
for how many nights was that?
6 nights.
So about $100 a night difference. Yeah. So
just kind of throwing that out there. And that was with a dining plan and all the 5-day ticket, dining plan. Yeah. So.
Wow.
The sleeping arrangements at the music is queen size bed sleeps 2, full size pull out sofa sleeps 2, convertible ottoman and sleep chair that sleeps 2, and a couple people told me that they're very comfortable. I said, of course, because it's Disney.
Well, the nice thing too about having the convertible ottoman and the sleep chair, they sleep one each.
Yeah.
So it does give you an option, you know, if you have 2 children of different genders, or if you have other adults that you're sharing the room with, it gives you some options as far as spreading
the
out.
tweens, they're between being young and between being an adult.
Right. Yeah. So it is nice. I think it's really nice to have those single sleeping options within the room.
Absolutely. Yeah. The different dynamics that tend to go down.
So we're moving to movies.
Yes.
Moving on.
Love Bug.
And is Love Bug a section at movies? It is. I've never set foot on All-Star movies. I've stayed at sports and music.
They got it's 5 times the original size of the.
Oh, cool!
Wow.
And they have Dalmatians, right?
Dalmatians.
Yep. Mighty Ducks.
Toy
Mighty
Story.
Ducks. Toy Story, yeah.
And Fantasia? Isn't there Fantasia? Yeah, there's
Fantasia.
That's right. That's
the magic's
here.
yours.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Fantasia, they have the Fantasia themed pool, which has
is the feature, correct?
Feature pool,
Okay.
yes. It has the kiddie pool and also has a water play area
Oh,
as
fun.
well. So,
Yeah.
And then the smaller pool is the Mighty Ducks one. I'm sorry, I got myself mixed up there.
That's all right.
So
Okay.
it's the Mighty Ducks, and the pool is actually like an ice hockey rink.
Oh,
So
cool.
I think that's just so cool.
Yeah.
To go along with the Mighty Ducks theme.
And the room square footage is the smallest on Disney property.
At movies.
Oh,
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about
It's the
before, you said
smallest
right now,
and least expensive rooms on Disney property.
right now it's pricing out less. But music and sports had been doing some refurbishment, and I think like the rooms that were not refurbished yet were going for way less than movies
Was
were
it during
for a
the
while.
refurbishment?
I think it might have been.
That's probably why.
Because that's why we ended up staying at music one time, because I priced them out and I was like, well, that's the cheapest, so that's where I'm going to stay. Because it was a very budget, very last minute, like just run down and play trip. So I wanted to stay at movies, and music was cheaper and cheap one.
There's a resort down there, they're
So-
giving $75 per room per day.
I think it's over though. I think we had to have it booked by,
Oh,
Saturday.
booking window.
yeah. Travel window's through next year, but booking window's over. Unless they
Bingo.
extended it. So, let's see. The food court at All Star Movies is called the World Premiere, and your main building is Cinema Hall. So even though all 3 buildings are virtually identical, they do a lot to try to keep that theme alive from whatever resort you're in, so that you really do feel like you're immersed in it. And even though you can walk from one resort to the other, unless you walk to the very edge of your resort and look across the parking lot, you can't even see the other resort. So it feels like you're just at
One resort.
music. You know, when you're in the middle, you can't see sports or movies like from your room unless you're at the baseball section.
It amazes me how Disney can keep things secluded that are right next to one another.
Right.
You
And
know,
there's even an administrative building in between sports and music. It's like tucked back in, but you can see it if you walk out to the parking lot and you know what you're looking for. But if you don't know what you're looking for, you'd never notice it there.
So since we're talking about all 3, do we want to discuss the transportation
Yes,
situation
definitely.
to and from to and from the parks? So,
We hear, or at least I hear a lot of times criticism about, I don't want to stay at All Star because my transportation is going to be combined and I don't want to sit and wait for the buses for the other resorts. Many routes during the day have direct transportation from your all-star resort to your destination. And they will combine, especially in the afternoon when the traffic slows down a little bit and people aren't moving between parks and resorts quite as much. They will combine and stop at each one. However, making 3 stops at the all-star resorts is like 3 times faster than making the entire loop around, say, Coronado Springs, or around Caribbean Beach, or around Saratoga Springs. So it's still faster to have 3 bus stops at the all-star resorts than it is to be staying at some of the deluxe resorts that have really long, extended bus loops. So
is there only one bus stop
there's
for,
one bus
say,
stop per
music, and then there's sports, and then there's movies? Like, is there multiple stops within
No,
music?
there's one stop, but everything is segregated. So you have, like, this is the Magic Kingdom stop.
Right.
This is the
Right.
But there's only one bus stop location, so
Right, yeah.
there's no.
Got it.
Be out
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
just
And
like
they're
the
right in the
it'll be
front.
Right out.
Got it. Okay.
Right, they're right in the front, and they have an access road between them, so it's actually pretty
simple.
quick if you
Okay.
have to sit on the bus and wait for the other drop-offs.
Nice.
So, I mean, I would not let that be a deterrent. I know a lot of people like Pop Century better because it definitely only has one bus stop. I mean, they're literally right next door to each other. It's not that big of a deal if you have to stop on the bus more than one time.
Okay. Very good.
What other... What are you doing up there?
I can't hear it, so they think we're crazy.
There's a lot of noise coming from the upstairs region. Anything else on All Stars?
That's all I had.
Yeah. They do have a lot of the same amenities that all of the resorts have. So just by staying on Disney property, you're going to get things like Movies Under the Stars and poolside trivia. Yeah. They do have a jogging trail that's mapped out, so they'll be would be able to tell you at the front desk how long it is, where it goes, give you a map of it, etc. So a lot of the things that you would enjoy at any Disney resort, you can still enjoy at the least expensive Disney resort. And I know we're throwing out the expense thing a lot tonight, but that's who the All-Stars are for. They're for people who are making their first trip to Disney, and they're like, they can't get over the cost of making that trip. Like people who are coming to Florida for the first time, they're maybe flying for the first time, maybe leaving their home state for the first time. This is a way to get all of the amenities of staying on property without feeling like you're going to go bankrupt. So it's a really nice option. If your family is typically going to go to the beach for vacation in the summer, and you're going to do that because once you book the hotel, you don't necessarily have to have a ton of expenses on top of it. This is a really great way to take a step farther in your travel portfolio and try something new that's at a pretty reasonable price point, where it can be manageable.
Yep.
So it's also really ideal if you just want to go to the parks. Amanda, another one of our agents, and I did a trip a couple of years ago, and we stayed at All Star Music, and I think I don't remember exactly, but I think we slept something like a total of 18 hours while we were there for 4 days. So we were literally go. We were, except for the morning that it downpoured, we were like there at rope drop, and we went to Disney Springs immediately when the park closed, and we did that for 4 days straight. And I wanted to die by the end, but but if you're gonna do a go vacation, and literally we were there to sleep, it's kind of like, do you want to spend your money on your resort, or do you want to get a dining plan, or do you want to have an option for more souvenirs, or do more add-ons, like you want to make the cake at something patisserie. Amorette's.
Yes.
Okay.
One of the things is once you upgrade to a moderate, it's kind of
You can't go back.
it is difficult to go back.
Right. But these are definitely the workhorse of the Disney resort inventory. You're talking all 3 of these resorts together. They're more than 2 times the size of Port Orleans, Riverside, and French Quarter combined that we talked about last week.
And a lot of questions I get is what area is the resort located next to, or in? So Blizzard Beach and Animal Kingdom, and then sports also includes Coronado Springs.
And you can actually walk to Blizzard Beach from All Stars.
Oh, wow.
Well.
Yeah. And that means you can also walk to the miniature golf course. And there's a McDonald's that you can walk to.
There is one on property.
And
I
it's
didn't know that.
yeah, it's between Coronado and the All-Stars, and there's enough sidewalk that you can get to the McDonald's and Blizzard Beach from the All-Stars. So it's when we talk about the resorts that have walking access, we have walking access to a water park. This is the only
That way
resort
you
that
can
has
do a
that.
slide and shake.
Yeah. There you go. Howard asked us if there's any difference between the various All-Star food courts, whether anyone's particularly better or worse than another. I have to admit to only ever eating in the sports food court, so I'm really not sure.
I think from what I've read, the selections are the same.
I would expect that they
and
were.
The
They were
selections are the same.
fairly. I don't want to say generic because they really did have a nice selection and
There
a
are
pretty good
nice
variety.
selections.
Yes.
They had anything from pasta dishes to pizza to burgers to chicken, like roasted chicken.
And in the morning, anything from omelets to breakfast
Right.
sandwiches to yogurt.
really kind of similar to Landscape
all their
Flavors
foods-
Yes.
at Art of
Yeah, yeah,
Animation. I mean,
Yeah.
if you've been to Art of Animation, it's not the ambiance isn't as nice because the resort's just older, but it's the same kind of food.
The same
And
concept.
you're gonna have all the breakfast items. They might come arranged a little bit different. They might put pancakes in with one and call it like a Grand Slam, or they might.
Right.
But all of them are prepared the same. They're made from the same ingredients and stay uniform throughout, no matter whether you're staying a moderate value or deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
So your scrambled eggs are going to be exactly the same wherever you go. The only thing that you could really make different on it is to make healthy choices when you're dining. Ask questions when you're. I say this I'm not here on every broadcast, but ask questions when you're down there because you've hired thousands of cast members when you book a trip, and you can forego the toast for a banana, things like that. So, yeah, Harold, I've never had a problem with any of the foods down there. I enjoy my dining experiences more the more seasoned I've gotten in life, and so yeah, I could not compare one to the other. They might just have a little variance as far as offering something optional,
Right.
but basically it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Very good.
Chicken.
Any closing comments on the All Stars before we do our fun fact? Okay.
Oh, here's a fun fact.
All right, fun fact. Of course, it is still Women's History Month in March, so our fun facts have centered around the women of Disney. And this week we have another little fun fact about Lillian Disney. She was the sole owner and proprietor of Lillian's Garden outside the Holmesby Hills estate of she and her husband. And there's actually a written agreement that is legally recorded for Walt Disney to have a right-of-way through Lily's garden for his Carolwood Pacific train. So apparently he wanted the track to go through a section that Lily had already claimed and planted. And she had certain stipulations that she wanted him to adhere to, and she made him put it in writing. So, and from what I understand of Walt Disney, being a very charming individual and being very good at persuading people to see his point of view, it probably wasn't a bad idea. Because I have a feeling he could have pulled a fast one on her at any minute. That garden would have been history. So that does it for us this evening.
Thank you for
So
tuning
thanks
in.
for tuning in, and we'll see you real soon. And
Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. MICKEY MOUSC. Thank you, everybody.